All right, boys and girls, we are going to move on to proportions. So today's lesson is the 4.6 Intro to Proportion Notes. It's an old lesson, so that's why it says 5-1, ratios and proportions. Ratios, we know, are two different quantities, comparing two different quantities. We talked about that last week and the week before when we were doing the unit rates. Today, when we do proportions, what a proportion is are two equal ratios. So basically two fractions that have different numbers, but they are equal. The two fractions are equal. So they must have equal signs in between them. So today is going to be pretty basic. We're just going to look at how do we determine whether or not these two fractions are proportional or not. There's a couple different ways to do it. We have the old style of doing it where we can simplify each fraction, and when they are reduced down to their simplest form, if they are the same fraction, then they are equal, and if they aren't the same fraction, then they would not be equal. There's an easier way to do it, and it's called using cross products or cross multiplication to determine whether or not these two fractions are equal, and that's what we're going to focus on today. So cross multiplication, what we do is we basically take this first number of this first fraction, so the 4 in this first example, and I'm going to cross multiply through the equal sign and multiply it with the bottom number of the second fraction. So it'll be something like this. So I'm going to have 4 times 15, and we're going to figure out what that equals, and we get 60. And then I'm going to do the same thing and cross multiply my other two fractions. So I'm going to take the top number of my second fraction, cross through the equal sign, and multiply times the 5. So I'm going to do 12 times 5, and when I multiply 12 times 5, I also get 60, which means that these two fractions are proportions because they are equal to each other. 60 and 60 are equal. So we can say, if the question is, are these proportional? We can say, yes, they are proportional. All right, let's go ahead and look at this second example. We're going to take the first number of my first fraction, so the 3. I'm going to cross through the equal sign and multiply times the 14. So I'm going to have 3 times 14, and I end up getting 42. Then I'm going to take the top number of my second fraction, cross through the equal sign, and multiply times the 7. And I also get 42. So these two examples are both proportional. All right, so those are two easy examples to look at to start us off. Okay. As we move down the notes, here's a slide that is just showing you exactly what we just did, so we can see if the two ratios or the two fractions are equal by cross multiplying. In this example, they did 2 times 15 and got 30. And they did 5 times 6 and also got 30, so they know that those two fractions are proportional. Okay, so now we have 3 examples here that I want you to go ahead and attempt. Some of these are proportional and some of them are not. That's why there's no equal sign set between the two fractions. And I kind of gave you some arrows to help you out to begin here. So go ahead and push pause and try these 3 examples. I'll pause here for a minute and then I will go ahead and do the examples for you or with you. And you can copy them down or check your answers as you go. Go ahead. All right, so if we look at this first example, I have 5/8 and 8/15. I'm going to take the top number of my first fraction cross down through the comma this time, but there's normally an equal sign. So cross multiply times the 15. And so I'll go 5 times 15, and I get 75. Do the same thing going the other direction. So I'm going to take the first number, or the top number of my second fraction, cross through and multiply times the 8. So I'm going to have 8 times 8, which is 64. In this example, guys, this would be an example of two fractions that are not proportional. 75 is not equal to 64. So if we wanted to answer that question, you would simply write no. Are the following pair of fractions proportions? No, they are not. Okay, let's move on to our second set of fractions here. 18 times 10, which is 180. And then 15 times 12, which is also 180. So for this example, we would say yes, those are equal or proportional. And the last one, 18 times 30 is 540. And 10 times 54 is also 540. So we would answer this as yes, they are proportional. Okay, before I end here, I want to give you a heads up on what you guys are going to be doing on Thursday. Mr. Van Kirk has made a lesson and asked you guys to do a couple of practice problems. Instead of determining whether or not the fractions are proportional, you are going to see proportional fractions, but there's going to be a missing value. So for example, I'll just find a blank space on your notes here real quick. I'm going to give you a couple of examples, and I'm going to show you how we're going to solve this. So if I have 6 over 10 equals x over 5 as my question number 1, and 9 over 11 equals 4 over x, we're going to solve both of these. And what we're actually trying to do is we're trying to solve for the missing value. I'm trying to solve for this x right here. I'm trying to figure out what that x equals. And I'm going to show you how to do that here real quick. And Mr. Van Kirk is also going to do that on Thursday with you, okay? So we're same steps that we just did. I'm going to take this first number of the fraction, and I'm going to cross through the equal sign, and I'm going to say, okay, I've got 6 times 5 is 30, and I'm going to set that equal to my other value that I'm going to find, okay? So I'm going to take my top number, which is my x of my second fraction, cross multiply through the equal sign, and I'm going to have x times 10. And we talked a lot about this when we were solving for our equations. What's happening what is my solution when I multiply a variable times a number? X times 10, I just mush those numbers together and letters together, and I say, okay, x times 10 is 10x. And now we can solve. This is a one-step equation, and I'm telling you, when we cross multiply, our last step is always going to divide by whatever number is attached to the x. Okay? So in this example, draw my line through the equal sign, and I'm going to divide by 10 on both sides. I have to keep my equation balanced. My 10s on this side cancel out. I'm left with x, and then 30 divided by 10 is 3. So I just found my solution for x. X equals 3. And if you want to go back and check, I know that these two fractions up top here have to be equal. So I can go back and I can put my value for x, my 3, and plug it in here and say 6 times 5 is 30, 3 times 3 is 30. I know that that works because 30 is equal to 30. Those two fractions are proportional. Okay, this last one here. Start with my first fraction, the top number, cross through the equal sign, multiply times the x. Again, if I'm multiplying a number times a letter, I'm just going to smush the number and letter together and make it 9x. And if you want to put a little dot in there to represent multiplication because you know you're multiplying 9 times x, that is also okay. And I'm going to set this equal to 4 times 11, which is 44. And I can tell already this is not going to come out to be a nice whole number answer, but that's okay. Sometimes we end up with fractions as our answers. And my last step is to divide by whatever number's attached to your x. So in this case, I'm going to divide by 9 on both sides. My 9's cancel out, and I'm left with 44 divided by 9 is 4.88, and this 8 keeps on repeating, so we can put a line over the top of those 8s. Or you can just leave it as 2 numbers after the decimal. I would be okay with that for your practice on Thursday. All right, gang. So that is what you're going to be doing on Thursday, is going to be solving for the missing variable using cross multiplication and division. And as always, if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out via Canvas, on Canvas, or email. All right. I hope you guys had a good Easter. I'll talk to you later. See ya.